Couple things I want to get off right off the bat is I know that I was mistaken on the King Fritz stuff, and that we were never fully sure about what the Ackermans technically were in relation to Titan Juice. I understand now, based on obviously by the fact that she was spoken to by Eren, that Ackermans are in some way Eldian in blood or connected to Ymir's curse, etc., etc. So those things are cleared up. Anything you want to say before we get into this madness?
Nope.
Let's go.
Just how like fucked this scene is. They're just witnessing ultimate destruction and they just get brought in here and it's like they're being projected this voice like, oh, by the way, I just did this.
Also, like, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
None of them have been here, yeah, and everyone else everywhere else.
Marley,
yep.
It's just like
all the innocent people who are just enemies by virtue of the fact that they live in a place that they have nothing to do with. I still can't fucking believe that this is happening, by the way.
I know.
I still cannot believe that this is happening. Not just the cataclysm, but Eren, that, like, I still am, like, in full denial.
I know.
And I think it's because there's some other thing or some kind of catch to what he's doing. But at this point, there can't really be one, can there?
Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna, unless you stop it like right this exact second, then you're gonna go too far in like 2 steps. You know what I like? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you're kind of past the point of really doing anything else.
So where's fucking Annie?
I know, I'm feeling like that might have woken her up, but she's really far away regardless, isn't she?
Yes. Yeah, she's a few days horseback ride inward. THAW. This is Annie for sure. He probably woke her up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Annie's dad. Wait, what?
Evacuate to where? The rest of the world is getting trampled.
I mean, if they're all, yeah, moving out and, you know, spreading outward. Then again, the inner wall titans will be here in a second. I don't see a solution to this problem. This is insanity.
Okay.
That's an epic rationalization, but I bet that's what Eren's thinking right now.
Okay, finally some, like, other than, we did it! We won!
He was
Yeah.
thinking that it was just a test rumbling, and it was just gonna be like the Shiganshina walls or something.
Yeah.
ビストリアを犠牲にすることを拒んだ。つまりエレンは俺たちを守るために壁外人類を犠牲にし、この大虐殺の恩恵を受けるのは俺たちだ。お前らが大事だからだ。他の誰よりも。
I can't even freak out about this because it's just so fucked up. What? Wait, what? Can't Eren be like, hey, stop?
Oh. Yeah, all the titans that were from all the wine and stuff just like still running around.
But
killing
Eren would
everyone.
still technically have control over them.
Yeah, but is he even thinking about that?
母ちゃんがラガコ村の母ちゃんに食わせる。いいな。
That's fucked.
Whoa, Connie.
That's really fucked.
Whoa, Connie. I did not.
母ちゃんはどうでもいいってことか。
No, of course not.
俺がどう思ってあの母ちゃんがいる村に帰り続けたかわかんねえってのかよ。蘇ったんだろうが。母ちゃん生きか止めんなよ。
I didn't think Connie felt that way.
I mean, yeah.
I guess it's all going to
He's
shit.
literally just kidnapping.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. I mean, this is what he's been waiting for since season 2. A chance to get his family back. It fully makes sense.
It
It's
makes
just
sense, it's
surprising.
fucked.
I always thought Connie was more, wasn't like that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, what's happening? Why, like, if Eren can control all of the rumbling and all those guys, they're just larger versions of the same
Yeah.
thing. Straight up season 1.
Yeah.
Literally
That's
season
what I
1
was
shit.
thinking. Oh, these
Nile? It's Nile! It's fucking
Oh, no.
Nile's type. Oh shit. Gabby's gonna come in and save her, I bet. Fuck Nile. You're such a good character, dude. I was gonna say that she looked like Sasha when she put her hair up, but she'd done that before, so I didn't want to. That was pretty fucking cool. Sasha. I was gonna say, like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like, I was gonna compare her to Sasha just there when she tied her hair up, because Sasha always wore it in a ponytail, but obviously she'd worn her hair up like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Ben.
Oh.
I think we have bigger fish to fry right now, big man.
Yeah.
褒めてもらうためにそれが私の悪夢
そいつは俺の中にもいるカヤの中に誰の中にもみんなの中に悪魔がいるから世界はこうなっちまった
じゃあどうすればいいの
Fight.
森から出るんだ出られなくても出ようとし続けるんだ
Season 2? This is Barricades. I was listening to this morning. Who is this? Keith? Keith. It's him. Commandant.
I'm just gonna get... Oh. We're like really bringing it back to the first seasons here with this.
Live free, we're living without barricades. I like this.